TomoNews presents Flag Fights.
Confederate flag on truck gets 2 white guys beat up. Around 2 a.m. on November 1st, a fight broke out in a hotel parking lot in Salt Lake City. The 2 white gentlemen had driven in from Wyoming for Garth Brooks Halloween concert. The black gentlemen were apparently coming from a Halloween party and took exception to a Confederate flag decal on the country fan's truck. Words were traded back and forth and then... oops! Due to YouTube's rules against graphic violence, we can't show the entire brawl here, but it's available elsewhere, including on our website via the link in the description.
Man told to take down American flag, would rather be evicted. The 4th of July, a day Americans look forward to celebrating each year, with pride, patriotism, fireworks, and hot dogs. In a land well known for its national spirit, you'll see American flags on homes just about everywhere you go. But this man, Samuel Adams of Greeley, Colorado, was told last week that he needed to take his flag down. In a letter from management at his apartment complex, Adams was notified in writing that the flag constituted as clutter and needed to go. Instead, Samuel Adams recorded a video of him reading the letter out loud and posted it to Facebook and YouTube.
Dear Samuel, please be advised that it has come to management's attention that you have an American flag on your balcony patio area. Your signed community policy states the use of balconies and patios for the purpose of storage and/or laundry drying is prohibited. Breezeways are not to be used as patio or storage. Please do not clutter the personal belongings, balconies, and patios. They must be maintained in a neat, clean, and attractive condition. Outdoor and/or patio furniture is welcome on your patio or balcony only.
This policy ruling by the apartment complex, Sterling Heights, didn't go over well with folks online. So much so that 2 days after releasing the video, Samuel Adams begged the internet to stop threatening the staff at Sterling Heights. Shortly after the media circus began, Samuel Adams posted that a flag had suddenly appeared by the door of the management office. Not long after that, management waved their white flag and said it was okay for Samuel Adams to hang his after all.
The battle over the Confederate flag has taken a strange U-turn after a black University of South Carolina student has defended the flag and been invited to join the KKK. Byron Thomas, a self-described Christ-following Republican Southern gentleman, is loud and proud in his love for the Confederate flag. Thomas says he supports the flag, it stands for his state, and celebrates his black ancestors' role as a cook in the Confederate Army. In a Washington Post editorial, he argues for the flag as a symbol of his state's proud past, which includes starting the Civil War. Thomas also rejects the idea that he is an Uncle Tom and says that he is neither self-hating nor an apologist for slavery. In that case, it's only an endorsement that South Carolina's White Knights of the KKK have invited him to join. The KKK formally extended the offer for Thomas to join as a partial member, like a 3/5 membership.
CNN falsely reports ISIS flag at Pride March. Some of the largest gay pride celebrations on record follow the Supreme Court ruling on gay marriage. CNN's coverage of the London Pride Parade will go down in news blooper history.
An unnerving sight today at a London gay pride celebration, an ISIS flag among a sea of rainbow colors.
On the scene was CNN contributor Lucy Paul, who spotted the ISIS flag and was able to snap a picture. Yep, looks like an ISIS flag to me. Wait a second, that's not Arabic. That looks like a collection of hand-drawn dildos and butt plugs. Did the folks at CNN really have trouble telling the difference between sex toys and Arabic? Or is ISIS now recruiting homosexuals to blow themselves up in the name of terror? Sorry CNN, your 2 minutes of fear-mongering coverage on the Gay Pride March just backfired on you. For the record, CNN, this is the Islamic State flag. And here are some sex toy silhouettes on a black background. Again, the ISIS flag. And this is a dildo next to a butt plug. CNN eventually took down the video, but not before somebody snagged a copy of it to live forever on the internet. Oh, by the way, CNN, Hong Kong isn't in South America. This probably isn't al-Baghdadi's real Facebook photo. And just because typing ISIS flag into Google returns this image doesn't mean goats are sympathizers to the terrorist group. They're victims of an evil militant regime.
Cake Wars, the saga of a man who just wanted to eat the rebel flag. Chuck Netzhammer of Louisiana is a lot more fond of this flag than lots of other folk. Upset by recent moves to remove his beloved flag, Chuck decided to go down to Walmart and make a simple request. Bake me a cake with my flag on it. No can do, says Walmart, against policy. Oh yeah? Then bake me an ISIS cake.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Here's some pics of Chuck proudly holding up what seems to be pretty clear evidence that Walmart needs to educate employees better, change its policies, or both. But these are just pics. There used to be video. Chuck posted the entire cake saga on YouTube, but YouTube pulled it on Monday. It got about 500,000 views in 3 days, but the overlords at YouTube,
Who always have our best interests in mind.
have decided Chuck's video is too... something. Chuck obviously was trying to make a point, which he did. Walmart obviously made a mistake. Chuck demanded and got an apology. Chuck's right, either make all cakes or at least have a tiny bit of logic in what you ban. But what's up with mega corporate video monopoly site YouTube? Nobody voted you internet thought police. Come on, YouTube, put the video back up. And Walmart, if you bake one more ISIS cake, so help me God, I'm gonna come down there and... Understood?
Confederate flag supporter detonates bomb at Walmart. A Mississippi man has been arrested for detonating an explosive device at a Walmart in retaliation for the retailer discontinuing sale of the state flag. Marshall Leonard, 61, was arrested at 2 a.m. Sunday morning after placing a homemade explosive device in the entrance of a Walmart store in Tupelo, Mississippi, according to WJTV News. The device was wrapped in newspaper, which Leonard set alight. Leonard threw the bomb into the store's entrance and told an employee resting there to run. Leonard and the employee fled, and the bomb exploded with a loud bang. Police say the device contained enough explosive to damage the store if it had been assembled differently. Marshall Leonard then fled the scene in his silver Mazda sedan, which has a large Mississippi flag and a Confederate battle flag suspended through its sunroof. He was pulled over for running a red light nearby, and then arrested when the officer began receiving calls about the explosion at Walmart. He's been charged with detonating an explosive device. Last week, Marshall Leonard made several threats online against local retailers, including Walmart, and several news outlets which he accused of conspiring to remove the Mississippi state flag.
Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose, except maybe your job. There are many who see this flag as a symbol of freedom, but this Illinois teacher is learning a lesson about the limits of freedom after getting fired for stomping on a U.S. flag. There are rules for the flag. You're not supposed to fly it upside down. Oh, except if it's being used as a distress signal. You're also not supposed to wear it on clothing, have it on bedding, or use it as a curtain. You can, however, desecrate it. It's free speech, protected under the First Amendment. But while the Constitution might protect the right of Illinois teacher Jordan Parmenter to stomp on the flag as a way of demonstrating the concept of free speech to his students, that same document likely provides little protection from getting fired for stomping on the flag, which is exactly what the Martinsville School District did in a 6-0 Tuesday vote. So yeah, today's lesson seems to be, yep, you can set the flag on fire, but your pissed off boss can then set your employment on fire. Metaphorically, of course. In this photo said to be from his Facebook page, now ex-teacher Jordan Parmenter comments about a New York school that had kids write essays from the Nazis' perspective. Neither that New York school essay nor stomping on the flag was the best of ideas, but neither are illegal. Did the Martinsville School Board go too far by firing him? Free speech ain't as easy as it sounds, is it?
Outrage warriors blast students who stood on an American flag. This unpatriotic photo, which appears to be taken on school property, is stirring all kinds of controversy and causing school officials to boost security. It shows a student at Richland High School near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, standing on the American flag, while a girl stands next to him flipping the bird and sticking out her tongue. Richland School District said they will beef up campus security in light of the attention the photo has received. Richland School District Superintendent released a statement about the photo, to which Facebook user Dave Marcinko commented, "Cane them." Many commenters who railed against the students seem not to support the freedom of speech being exercised in the image. Defiling Old Glory is not actually a crime in itself, and attempts to criminalize flag burning or defacement have failed. However, destroying someone else's property is illegal, so if the school feels like the students vandalized the flag, they could face charges. According to the ACLU, the mother of the boy in the picture said he has apologized and regrets his actions.
South Carolina may finally take down the Confederate flag. In the wake of the racially charged shooting at the Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina, Many are calling for the removal of the Confederate flag. South Carolina Senator and presidential longshot Lindsey Graham supports taking the flag down, while South Carolina State Representative Doug Brannon says he'll risk re-election to remove the stars and bars. Governor Nikki Haley, meanwhile, wants the flag down sooner than later, possibly by July 4th. The flag was never actually the Confederate Army's official flag, but rather the battle flag of General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia, and only later did it become a commemorative symbol. The flag was first flown in South Carolina in 1961. Around the same time, the federal government was passing desegregation laws. Since then, the flag's been associated with racial intolerance and white supremacy groups. Most people agree that taking the flag down is the right thing to do. And once that flag comes down, America's deep-seated racial issues will surely be cured just as easily, right?
Virginia high school students offended by no longer having the right to offend. Students at a Virginia high school were suspended this week after holding a rally to protest new school policies banning their right to celebrate their antiquated Southern pride. A high school in Christiansburg, Virginia instituted a new policy earlier this year banning Confederacy symbols on cars in the school's parking lot. The school already bans clothing deemed insensitive to various groups, and now, well, some students feel the school is going too far to encourage acceptance. Students argued that the establishment was infringing on their good old God-given American rights, but the school refused to back down. After 24 students dressed in clothing embellished with the divisive flag rallied in front of their school to protest the policy, the school swiftly slapped them with suspensions. One student told The Guardian that she thinks the new policies are preventing Americans from accepting real Southern culture and her rich heritage. The students were hit with only 1 day suspensions on Thursday, but after things became rowdier, 2 were slapped with 3-day suspensions for threatening and abusive language. Twitter reactions have been mixed, with some supporting the school's position and others failing to see why celebrating some interpretations of Southern culture is problematic.
Tea Partiers tear down Chinese flag at Washington State Capitol building. These protesters, who identified themselves only as patriots, took down a flag that was flying in front of the Washington State Capitol building with the help of an unlikely assistant.
This is what happens when America speaks. Exactly.
State Governor Jay Inslee recently raised the People's Republic of China flag and let it flap in the wind, bookended by the U.S. and Washington state flags. Now, maybe Jay has a tender spot for China. It was the destination of his first political trip as governor in 2013, and China lifted a ban on shellfish exports from the West Coast in 2014, which added millions of dollars to Washington's economy. So Jay raised the flag in honor of an upcoming visit with China Ambassador Sui Tiankai. But Tea Partiers armed with "Don't Tread on Me" flags treaded all over Jay's welcoming display by removing the flag over the weekend, with the help of a state trooper, whom one of the onlookers referred to as an oath keeper.
Now that's an oath keeper there, making sure the communist flag comes down. That's an officer that I can support.
Mexico's largest flag sweeps soldier into the air. Soldiers in Durango, Mexico were working to raise an enormous flag during a ceremony when a gust of wind suddenly sent one soldier for a terrifying ride. High winds complicated the process of raising the flag on its 400-foot pole. At one point, a particularly strong gust took hold. Most of the soldiers were able to let go, but one of them clung on. The flag propelled him high into the air and dropped him as he tried to control his landing. Luckily, the flag acted kind of like a parachute, so the air resistance slowed his fall. But the footage does show him hitting the ground forcefully before he crumples. He reportedly suffered a fractured leg. Azteca Noticias reported he was launched roughly 50 feet into the air before spiraling back down.
Apple removed Civil War games because they feature the Confederate flag. What? This flag is pretty toxic these days as debate rages whether it has a public place in 21st century America or should be relegated to a museum. Major retailers have pulled rebel flag merchandise from the shelves, and a whole bunch of folks are reconsidering their relationship with this controversial banner. But if there was ever a place where the rebel flag is entirely appropriate, it would be in a historical game about the Civil War. Apple's App Store has gone nuts and is yanking products featuring the stars and bars, and yeah, we're talking about games like Ultimate General Gettysburg and Civil War. Does Apple think we should censor history books? How about pixelating the Confederate battle flag in Civil War movies? Is this what an Appleized Hitler would look like? History did in fact occur, and if you're playing a historical game, you want it based on history, right? It's fair to say that TomoNews isn't that fond of the rebel rag, but we are very fond of common sense. The rebel flag on a t-shirt, if nothing else, a poor fashion choice. And you know, those who say it doesn't deserve to fly on government property, they have a pretty strong case. But if there's one place where that banner should be completely uncontroversial, it's in a computer game called Gettysburg. Do you agree?
Taiwan flag-raising ceremony complicates relations. This is Twin Oaks, the former resident of ROC ambassadors from Taiwan and Washington, D.C. Last week, during a New Year's Day ceremony, Taiwanese officials raised the country's flag on U.S. soil for the first time in 36 years. The ceremony was attended by over 100 people, but was met with anger from China. The self-governed island nation of Taiwan has not been allowed to raise its national flag on U.S. soil since 1979, after the U.S. recognized China and agreed to support its One China policy, which claims Taiwan as a renegade province of China. U.S. officials denied any knowledge of the flag raising, and despite the fact that the flag was raised on private property, U.S. officials have requested that Taiwanese officials refrain from a repeat performance. U.S. officials in both Washington, D.C. and the U.S. office in Taipei echoed the denials and requests about the flag raising. Some say the flag raising was a show of strength or as an attention getter for U.S.-Taiwan relations. Nevertheless, China's noisy displeasure over a little flag raising goes to show how sensitive the Asian behemoth is to a little prick from their democratic neighbor.